Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are continuing our series on financial independence, exploring the mechanics of how we actually move from getting by to getting free.
And we are doing that by dissecting the Golden Path strategy. For anyone just joining us, this is a comprehensive three-stage system developed by Tamir Kham.
And Tamir is a really fascinating figure in this space.
He is. He's the originator and architect of this whole 13-step strategy and, of course, the creator of the YouTube channel, The Golden Path to Financial Independence. But what really gives him authority here is that he is also the official Hebrew translator of The Richest Man in Babylon.
Which is why I think this specific strategy just resonates so much. You have this really unique blend. On one hand, you have Tamir's tech background, so there's this, modern systems engineering approach to money.
And precision, right.
Exactly. But on the other hand, it's fused with that ancient, timeless financial wisdom from his translation work. It's contemporary engineering precision meeting wisdom that has stood the test of millennia.
That's the perfect way to frame it. It's not just save more money, it's how do we engineer a system that builds wealth automatically?
Exactly. So let's orient ourselves. In our last deep dive, we covered steps 3 and 4. We did the hard work of financial mapping, seeing where every dollar actually goes, and then we built a conscious budget.
Right. We turned the lights on in the room, we stopped guessing and started knowing.
But seeing the mess is very different from cleaning it up. Today, we are moving to step 5, cash flow stabilization. And looking at the notes here, the headline is pretty aggressive. It says, "Stop the bleeding."
It has to be aggressive because this is the step where most financial plans just die. Step 5 is about addressing the overdraft, the negative balance, the state of living in the red.
Okay, so let's challenge that immediately, because living in the red sounds like a crisis. But for a massive chunk of the population, an overdraft isn't a crisis. It's just Tuesday. It's standard operating procedure.
It is.
You get paid, you clear the minus. 2 weeks later, you're back in it, and you just wait for the next paycheck.
And that normalization is exactly the problem we have to dismantle. If you're looking at your bank account and seeing a minus sign, and your internal monologue is saying, oh, it's just a rough month, you are missing the reality of the situation.
We're basically lying to ourselves.
We are misinterpreting the data, a negative balance.
Yeah.
It usually isn't a one-time event or some random accident. It is a chronic condition. It's a system failure.
That's a heavy pivot. We tend to think of an overdraft as a symptom of an expensive month like, oh, the car broke down, or it was the holidays. But you're arguing it's actually a design flaw in our lifestyle.
Precisely. It's a chronic cash flow imbalance that quietly drains your financial energy month after month. So many people believe they can fix it just by waiting for a tax refund or a good month at work. But that is like trying to heal a wound by just putting on a nicer bandage.
You're not treating it, you're just hiding it.
Exactly. And in the context of the Golden Path strategy, we have to remember our core identity shift here. We aren't acting as panicked money managers trying to survive until the end of the month.
We are acting as asset owners.
As asset owners repairing a broken machine.
I want to stick with that asset owner mindset for a second, because it changes the emotional stakes, doesn't it? An owner doesn't get mad at the machine for breaking down.
No, they just fix it. It removes the emotion, it removes the guilt. It's just mechanics.
So where does this fix fit into the whole rocket analogy we've been using?
Good question. If you recall, stage 1, that was steps 1 and 2, was all about preparing the launch pad, identity and vision.
Right.
Now we're in stage 2, which is the launch sequence itself. We've mapped the terrain in step 3, and we've set the flight plan in step 4 with the budget. Step 5 is specifically about removing structural damage before liftoff.
Because you can't launch a rocket if the fuel tank has holes in it.
You won't just fail to reach orbit, you'll explode on the pad. Step 5 is the gatekeeper. You absolutely cannot move to saving or building an emergency fund or investing if you are currently leaking fuel.
And that's a hard pill to swallow, isn't it?
Yeah.
For people who want to feel like they're making progress, they want to open an investment account now.
But doing that while you have a structural leak is it's counterproductive.
This reminds me of the boat metaphor we were talking about.
Oh, yeah. That's a really sticky visual for why just making more money doesn't work. Can you walk us through that?
Sure. So imagine you are sailing a boat and there's a hole in the hull. Water is coming in. You are taking on water every single hour.
Okay.
The natural reaction for most people, especially high achievers, is to try to sail faster.
Right. If I just get that promotion or if I pick up a side hustle, I can outrun the water level. I just need more speed.
Exactly. I need more wind in the sails.
Yeah.
But here is the completely counterintuitive part of personal finance. If you add more wind to a boat With a hole in the hull, you don't just go faster.
You sink faster.
You sink faster.
Wait, break that down. Why does more speed equal sinking faster?
Because in personal finance, the leaks usually grow proportional to the income. It's lifestyle creep. If your system is currently designed to spend, say, 110% of what you earn, and you double your income, you usually don't start saving the difference. You buy a bigger house, lease a nicer car.
You get premium everything. You upgrade the wine, the hotels, the clothes.
So the hole in the hole gets bigger.
The whole doubles in size along with the income. So now, instead of leaking $500 a month, you're leaking $1,000 a month. You are sinking faster because the pressure on the hull is greater. The goal isn't speed yet. The goal is to plug the hole.
That is honestly a bit terrifying because we are culturally programmed to believe that more income is the cure-all for financial stress.
It's the ultimate mirage.
We think if I just made $10,000 more a year, I'd be fine.
And it's not true. Income solves problems, but it does not solve patterns. If your pattern is spend everything plus 10%, more income just scales the disaster. Control begins when the bleeding stops.
So let's talk about the psychology of the red zone. Why do we stay there? If living in overdraft is so dangerous, if it's sinking our boat, why does it feel so normal?
Well, on the surface, it's habits. Spending without intention, confusing our wants with our needs.
Chasing status signals.
Right. But the deep dive reason, we normalize the bleed.
It becomes background noise.
Yes. The overdraft becomes just how life is. You stop seeing the red number as a warning siren and start seeing it as just a standard operating condition. You tell yourself, I'll always be in overdraft, or everyone I know is in the minus. That's just reality.
It's almost like a comfort zone, even though it's incredibly uncomfortable.
It is. It's a comfort zone because it's familiar. And when you're in that zone, your nervous system is on constant alert. Cortisol levels are high. You make short-term, stress-driven decisions.
I need this treat to feel better.
Instead of long-term decisions driven by your vision, you can't plan your future when your present is collapsing every single month.
That connects back to the system failure versus moral failure idea. Because there is so much shame attached to this. When you look at that bank statement, the internal narrative isn't, my system is broken. It's, I am bad with money.
I am a failure. And that shame is the single biggest barrier to fixing it. Shame makes you look away. It makes you avoid opening the banking app.
Throw the bills in a drawer unopened.
Exactly. We have to reframe this completely.
So how do we do that?
By adopting the engineer's mindset. And we have to say this clearly. Financial instability is not a moral failure. It is a system design problem.
I want to just underscore that. Financial instability is not a moral failure?
It isn't. Instead of feeling shame, view the overdraft as neutral feedback. Your financial system is currently designed to output a loss. That's it. It's just data.
I really like that. It takes the emotion out of it.
Yeah.
If my car engine is making a weird knocking noise, I don't sit on the curb and cry about what a bad person I am. I say, the car needs a mechanic.
Exactly.
Right.
And since you are the asset owner, you are the mechanic, you shift from victim, this is happening to me, to engineer, I can fix this mechanism.
Okay, so let's put on our engineer hats. If we are looking at this broken engine, what are the common mistakes people make when they try to fix it? Because I feel like we all fall into the same traps.
There are 4 big ones we see at this stage. The first one we already touched on, the income fallacy.
Thinking, I just need to earn more to fix this.
Right. And as we saw with the boat metaphor, without stability, more income just creates bigger leaks. The second trap is the temporary illusion. This is thinking it's just this month, next month will be normal.
But if you look back at your statements,
Yeah.
the last 6 months were all special cases.
They always are. January was post-holiday debt. February was the car insurance. March was a birthday. April was the vacation deposit.
The calendar of chaos.
That's it. If it's been happening for 6 months, it's not a rough patch, it's chronic. The third mistake is the necessity trap. That's the defensive reaction. I can't cut anything. All my expenses are fixed. I need all of this.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah.
I need that premium streaming service for my mental health.
Yeah.
I need that expensive coffee to function at work. We justify luxury as utility.
We wrap our identity around these expenses, but steps 3 and 4, the mapping and the budgeting, usually prove this just isn't true. There are always leaks. Always.
And the fourth trap.
The fourth mistake is maybe the most dangerous. The futility trap.
That's that one.
It's thinking, saving $10 here or $50 there doesn't matter. The hole's too big. I'm $2,000 in overdrafts, so why bother canceling a $12 subscription? It's a drop in the ocean.
That's the apathy setting in.
Mm.
It feels like trying to empty the Titanic with a teaspoon, so you just order another drink at the bar instead.
But the reality is, stability is built on small, compound actions.
Yeah.
And more importantly, and this is the key takeaway here, taking action changes your mindset before it changes your math.
So let's get into the action.
Huh.
We know the traps. We know the philosophy. What is the specific strategy for step 5? How do we actually stop the bleeding without getting overwhelmed?
The strategy is surprisingly simple, but it does require discipline. We call it the plug one leak method.
Okay.
The instruction is this. You do not need to fix your entire life today. You do not need to get to zero today.
Yeah.
You need to fix one thing.
Just one. That sounds surprisingly manageable.
It has to be manageable. If you try to overhaul everything overnight, cancel everything, sell the car, live on rice and beans, you will burn out in 3 days. You'll binge spend to compensate. The challenge is just to identify one specific leak from the financial map you created in step 3.
Can you give us some concrete examples? What does a leak look like in the wild?
Sure. A classic leak is the Zombie subscription, the streaming service you signed up for to watch one show 3 months ago, and you're still paying $15 a month for it.
Or the gym membership where you're basically just donating to charity because you haven't been since February.
Exactly. Another type is the valueless habit. This could be the daily $6 latte. Now, I'm not saying don't drink coffee.
Thank goodness.
I'm asking, does that coffee bring you $6 of joy? Or is it just a mindless routine? Are you buying it because you want it or because you're tired and on autopilot?
Right. It's the lack of intention that makes it a leak.
Yes. So once you identify the leak, you take concrete action. You don't just try harder. You change the structure. You cancel the service. You remove the credit card from the app. Or you set a strict physical limit like bringing cash for your lunches for the week and leaving the card at home.
And this goes back to what you said about the futility trap. Someone listening might be thinking, okay, I save $50 a month on coffee. Big deal. That doesn't solve my $2,000 overdraft.
And mathematically, in the short term, they're right. $50 doesn't solve $2,000. But psychologically, it is massive. This is all about agency.
It's about proving to yourself that you are the one driving the car.
Yes. Closing one leak proves to your brain, I am no longer ignoring the wound. I am treating it. It shifts the internal narrative from I am helpless to I am capable.
It breaks the paralysis.
It does. And here's the magic part. Once you plug one leak, you get a little hit of dopamine. You realize you survived without that subscription. You realize the homebrewed coffee is actually fine. You feel a tiny bit of control. And then
You look for the next leak.
you look for the next leak. It builds momentum. You start to feel like the asset owner in control of the system. It snowballs.
That feeling of control is the foundation for everything else. This is why Tamir insists on the sequence. Stability first, then protection, then growth.
And that sequence is crucial. We often want to jump straight to the sexy stuff, investing, real estate, the growth phase.
We want to talk about compound interest and stock picks.
But you cannot save, which is step 6, if you are bleeding cash. You cannot build an emergency fund, step 7, if you are living in the red. And you certainly cannot invest step 11 successfully if you don't have control over your cash flow. You'll just be forced to sell your investments at a bad time to cover your bills.
Step 5 is the gatekeeper.
It is the absolute foundation. You know, going back to the boat one last time, if you plug the hole, suddenly the wind you already have starts to move you forward. You don't even need more wind yet. You just need a hull that floats.
That's a great perspective. It means you can make progress with the income you have right now. You don't have to wait for the raise.
You can start today. You must.
So the challenge is clear. Find one leak, plug it.
Just one. Look at your map. Pick the one that brings you the least value or is the easiest to eliminate. And kill it.
I love that. Kill the leak.
And then track the result next month. See the difference, not just in the bank account, but in how you feel when you look at that account.
Before we wrap up and look ahead, we do need to pause for an important reminder. We're talking about money and strategy, but we need to be crystal clear about the boundaries here.
Yes. It is critical to clarify that this episode is not financial advice. We are presenting a structured thinking framework, Tamir's Golden Path strategy. There are absolutely no guarantees. Responsibility for any decisions remains entirely with you, the listener.
Right. The fact that this strategy worked for Tamir Kaham, or that these principles worked in ancient Babylon, does not mean they will automatically work for you in your specific situation today.
Exactly. Your goals, your risk tolerance, your local market conditions, they are all unique to you. You must do your own research and consult qualified professionals, accountants, advisors, lawyers, before making any significant financial decisions.
Okay, so to recap, we learned that control begins when the bleeding stops. The overdraft is not a rough patch, it's a system failure. And our mandate is to identify and plug one specific leak to start fixing that system.
You've stabilized your cash flow. In our next deep dive, episode 5, we move to step 6, building a consistent saving habit.
And that's a big shift. We go from stopping the loss to keeping the gain.
We will cover how to make saving automatic, non-negotiable, and sustainable. We're going to talk about paying yourself first, not as a slogan, but as an actual system.
That is going to be a game changer. Once the boat stops sinking, we can actually start storing supplies.
Exactly.
So make sure you subscribe for the full 13-episode series. You don't want to miss the next steps. And please join the YouTube channel for visuals and more deep dives on this strategy. It's The Golden Path to Financial Independence.
And you can find that directly at youtube.com/ capital TAMIR, capital GOLD, capital PATH.
That's at Tamir Goldpath. Or you can simply search YouTube for The Golden Path to Financial Independence.
See you in episode 5, where we turn stability into momentum.